afternoon. Discombobulated here. I had some thoughts this afternoon. I just wanted to share a couple things. Well, probably the biggest thing going on in my life right now is the new job, and I finished a week there for the remodeling contractor, and it seems like everything's going good, and I'm kind of surprised. I really didn't know what to expect or how it was going to go, but my coworker seemed cool. There's no Mexicans. I'm super pleased about that. I'm just so pleased about that. There's not one Pedro, one Jesus, just a bunch of regular white guys. And it's a pretty small operation. I'm one of 4 employees. And I like that part too, that it's not, really big, and there's not like just one guy driving around in a white truck telling everybody what to do. Everybody seems to be working, so it's like the boss is really the only chief, and we're Indians, and I kind of like that. And I like building again. I'm super happy to be back to, working as a carpenter. I've been doing some framing. That wasn't our cool thing, is right away they were just like, hey, Brian, we had changed some windows sizes and done some other stuff in this bathroom, and so the exterior wall needed to be framed out, and they were just like, hey, Brian, can you take on that framing? And I was like, yeah. And so then I just, started cutting wood, and got out my nail gun and nailing it together, and everything turned out sweet and nice and level and plumb, and everything was just like really normal, and I didn't feel real nervous. I have felt nervous a couple times, like kind of like performance pressure, like that I wanted to do well, or like I had to do some drywall work, and I kind of felt nervous about it. Had been a little while since I'd done this particular type of deal, and I was like, just kind of going through the motions of the whole thing and hoping everything would turn out good. I did feel some performance pressure, but and then luckily it went good, and then it turns out I have all the tools that I need. Maybe I do need a jigsaw. There's a couple things I need, but I'll be able to get them on my next paycheck, or my first paycheck from this job. And the jobs have been close by. I've been driving maybe, 15, 20 minutes to the locations, and that's not too bad. It hasn't been a lot gas-wise, and Old Russ Bucket seems to be doing pretty good with that. And then we have a pretty casual start time. We're just supposed to be there between 8 and 8:30, which I was having to show up at the city job at 7 every morning, so I'd have to leave here at 5:30 to catch the bus and everything. The cat's scratching up on the, what are you doing, buddy? And so being able to go to work a little later is kind of cool. I've been able to get a few things done in the morning before I go, and then we usually knock off between like around 4:30. And so I've been getting maybe say 7.5 hour days or 7 hour days, which that's fine with me. It's fine. Especially right now, since it's been hot. It's like 105 degrees here in Layton, Utah today, and I think it's supposed to be 108 tomorrow or something, so it's a bit brutal. And let's see, the other thing is I do feel really glad to be gone from the city job. I haven't missed those morning meetings. I haven't really missed any of it. I thought that I would miss it a little bit more, but I really don't. It turns out I didn't even like that job as much as I thought I liked it, although I do miss Johnny. And I was going to call him, but I feel like I don't want to bother him, so I don't know. I don't know what to do about that. Maybe I'll call him this week coming up and say, hey, man, I just was thinking of you, and I'll let you know my new job's going good, and that kind of thing. And I've been kind of just focused now. It's all about just kind of this work life where I'm just, getting groceries so I can have my lunches for next week, and put gas and some oil in the truck so I'll be able to, not have to worry about that. But just kind of I'm in that, day-to-day grind mindset now, and it feels fine. And the funny part about that is, like, when I was younger and I was working construction, I kind of wanted to do anything but construction. And then, especially when I was younger and I was working construction, I was like, I need to go to school. I need to, do something with my life. But I did go to school and I did do other stuff with my life. And then now I'm back doing construction, and it seems like I've gone full circle, but that's how it was supposed to go, or something like that. And then now I don't have that feeling like, I need to be doing something else. I need to be going to school, or I got to find a way to go to school because I already did all that. And, I'm still to pay my student loans even though I'm an old man now. So that part's kind of crazy. And just thinking along the lines of the student loan thing, I had a collectors were calling me trying to get me to start making payments, and they have this thing where I called them back and I was like, okay, I'm ready to start making payments on the student loan, and they said they wanted 2 references. And I was like, well, I didn't want to give them any references because I'm estranged with my family, and I couldn't really think of any friends who I'd want to give them their name. And they said, well, they call it like skip trace, like in case you skip out on your payments, they want somebody to call to try to find you. But I wasn't promising them I would pay them back. The idea was I was just going to try to start paying them back, and for sure, I'm going to kick the bucket one of these days, or maybe I'll lose my job in a year, maybe 6 months, maybe a year and a half, and I could end up out on the streets or who knows what. But I don't want them calling somebody saying, hey, we're trying to get Brian to pay. It just seemed kind of stupid, that part. So I told the lady on the phone, I was like, well, I don't know, I'm gonna have to think of somebody, and I didn't want to put my parents down because I just didn't want anybody calling them and bothering them, and I didn't want to put my brother down, or, well, whatever. So then I started thinking about it more, and I was like, well, maybe I don't have to deal with this bill collector. Maybe there's another way to pay back. So I've been using Gemini a lot, the AI Gemini, especially like in the messaging Gemini. It's something I kind of discovered, like where I can talk to it like a friend, and then it remembers the conversations and I can go back and look at them. Whereas with ChatGTP, it was harder to do that kind of deal. It seemed like every conversation was fresh. The same thing with X. But on this one, I have more of like a running dialogue with it. And so then I was like, is there any way to get this, start squaring away this college loan debt and bypass the collector? And then it told me about a path where I could just go to the federal student aid website and then, verify my identity and all that stuff, take a look at the loans. And then they had some repayment programs there. Like, say there were like 3 main categories, and there were some other categories like for special circumstances, like if you're a teacher or if you were doing some public service, then you don't have to pay back all of it, or you could pay it back different, or there was some kind of easier path there for some things. But then there was, of course, one option was just to pay it all right now, which is that's just not even possible. And then there was one called, I don't remember what the second one was called, but it's a repayment plan. And then the third one was called loan consolidation. And Gemini advised me to do that one, and so I followed through with all that. And then there's a chance where you can make it based off of your income. So anyways, by the by, I finished all that application stuff, and then it looks like my payment would be like around $84 a month, which sounds good to me because the collectors were on the edge of garnishing my wages. And that happened to me one other time, like say 10 years ago. I was working a construction job and I got my paycheck and it was like super low. And I was like, what is going on? And then I realized, I guess by looking at the stub or whatever, there was like a big deduction on there. They were taking 15% of my pay. And I was just like, damn, that was harsh because I wasn't making that much anyways. And I could tell they were getting ready to whack me again with that same thing, you know. So, and then just to be clear, I always wanted to pay the student loan back. And I always thought in my life, like, I would, you know, find some success somewhere, either some stability and enough success to make the payments, kind of like I'm getting ready to do now, or just I'd have some kind of a windfall, and then I'd be able to just pay it off and be done with it. And then that's the one horrifying part, is that my balance, I thought my balance was like 10,000. It's 16,000. I think it was 10,000, and then maybe there's been a bunch of interest or fees or something's happened, but I don't even know where I got that 10,000 number, because after the divorce, I kind of quit paying attention to everything. It just, when everything fell apart, it just fell apart in all those ways where I wasn't a responsible person, you know. I was mostly just, my day's responsibility would be going to the convenience store for a 12-pack and a pack of cigarettes, and then going home and sitting on the porch and just drinking and resenting and being miserable and passing some years away doing that, you know. So stupid. So it's such a waste. Such a waste. So anyway, so now I'm kind of on that. I'm walking that line of trying to get those, you know, my bills in order and stuff. And wait, I just had a thought, something just kind of, it's not the drinking. I lost that thought. Oh, I know. I was just thinking about the divorce. It just made me think about women a little bit. And I don't know why, because I feel like that part of me was been dead for a long time, where I just never really even thought about women. And if my mind would start to go down that road, I would always just dismiss it right away and think about something else, like use some mind control, you know? And, but lately I've just been thinking, like, well, what, you know, it would be nice, you know? And then for some reason I started having dreams. And then I would have these, like, dreams where there was this one particular gal I used to know, and, like, I dreamed that we were, like, naked and, like, we were close to each other and we were embracing and we were kissing, and I could feel her skin up against me and the warmth of her body, and all that head rush was going on, you know? And then I woke up, you know, and then I was like, oh, that wasn't real. And then I was so bummed out, it was just a dream, you know. And then like for, like, say half an hour, it was just like swimming around in my head, and I was just like, oh man, it would be nice, you know, to have that kind of intimacy again, to get close to a woman again like that. And then I had another dream about her last night. It could have been the night before, but I think it was last night. And it was kind of a crazy dream, though. There was like some kissing going on, but there was some other, like, kind of crazy stuff happening, so things weren't really working out, or there was, I don't remember what it was. But then when I woke up, I again had that feeling of like, oh damn, that was a dream, you know, just realizing, like, when you wake up into a life that you wish wasn't your life, and you wish that dream was your life, you know. And that hadn't happened to me for a super long time. It used to happen to me a lot more when I was younger. I'd be in an awesome dream and then wake up and then realize, like, oh, just back to my crappy life here, you know. But it just kind of, like, I don't know, let's say you could say it lit some kind of fuse in me, where I'm just like, oh man, I really would like to find a girlfriend. I don't know how or when. It'd be like the job thing. That's the other thing about this job is, I think I started to say it once, how like before I wouldn't have been happy at this job because I would have felt like there was more waiting for me, that there was something better, like I was on the wrong track, you know. But this time, landing in the construction world, I feel like I'm right where I need to be, that I'm on track, and I'm just happy as a clam doing it, you know. Even when I'm showing up at the job site, you know, sometimes like at my other job, I would just get there in the truck. I'd be like, oh God, I didn't want to get out of the truck and go in for the morning meeting. But now when I'm showing up, I feel good. I'm ready to get out of the truck and, you know, get my tool belt, get my tools and start working. So I don't know, that part feels really good. And I guess I'm just feeling better in general too. Just having the job thing work out, and I still kind of can't believe it, you know, like that well drilling job that I tried for, and then the other well drilling job, and they were both kind of like fantasy jobs for me, and then you know, I never heard back from those guys, and you know, there was a few other things I was pretty hopeful about, but I feel like this particular situation came around in a way and at the right time, and my resume was tailored sort of perfectly for it, and it's hard to explain it, but it was like everything lined up perfectly, you know. It's like I was ready for the job and the job was ready for me, or something like that, or just, you know, the time and the place coalesced, type of deal. So I think just, you know, having a job, and a job that's paying me decent, has really been a mental win for me. Like, it really was a mood enhancer. Let's say what I was hoping to find with the Adderall before, I almost felt like I found that here, just by having something good like that happen in life, you know. And God, it sucks, you know, just thinking about especially the days when I was living in parking lots and Walmart and stuff in the car, and when life just was so bad every day, and then it just drags you down so hard, man. It gives you sort of a post-traumatic stress that just kind of drapes over you, and life is just gray and ugly and horrible, sort of, you know. I don't know, but just so having the stability of being able to stay here in the camper, having this, you know, the lady who lets me stay here, for I don't know why, but she likes me, and I've been doing some stuff for her. Her daughters both needed some baseboards and door casing put in their room, and so I did that, and now she needs me to do some wiring for her dryer and some other stuff. So I try to help her out when I can, and then give her some money here and there too, you know. And she gives me chicken eggs, but mostly just that stability of having a home, well, a place to come to every day, you know. And the camper's good, it's fine. I mean, especially if you get used to it, you know. So I think that stability, the job, and then maybe those mushroom trips too, you know. That last one, it seems like after that last one, like, my mood has just been a lot better, and then it's almost like that opened the door. It's almost like it opened the door for the things that happened, you know. It gave me like a bit of a confidence boost. And then that last bit, when I was looking for jobs, my energy felt different. I wasn't like so desperate feeling. I mean, I wanted to find another job, and I guess well, sometimes I had that sense of desperation. That's not true, maybe. I guess, but in general, I had more of let's just call it a can-do attitude. And, you know, maybe having that tile job, I think, was helping a lot. And it's kind of funny what's happened there. The guy told me he's out of money again, and so he told me to take a couple weekends off, which was good because we've been so hot, and I kind of needed, you know, like grocery shopping and some other stuff. Just, I had some other, like, just life stuff to kind of work out. So, but I know that I got that waiting for me too. So it's not like, because it's happened with him before where he'll have some money, then he doesn't have it, then he does. And so it's a bit of an ebb and flow, but it's fine. And then I think just having that thing kind of helping me, and it also had been kind of building my confidence. And even though it's going slowly but surely, it's turning out super nice. And even at my new job, they're working on some shower stuff, and I kind of saw some stuff that they were doing, and I thought, oh, I probably wouldn't do it like that, or I would use a different material, or I felt like I kind of had a better thing going on, but that's fine. I don't, I'm not hung up on that. I'm just doing it however they want to do it. But so let's see what else. There was another something I was wanting to talk about. Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. Yeah, I think maybe that's it. Well, anyways, thanks for listening to me. We'll see you next time.